very good afternoon, dear listeners. This is Akashvani Kohima at 103 megahertz. This is your host in the studio, Tia, and I welcome you once again to our program In Focus, Drug Free Nagaland. This program is a live interactive bilingual program initiated by the Regional News Unit Akashvani Kohima in collaboration with Nagaland Police Department and other stakeholders. My dear listeners, you are tuned in to the station of the region at 103 megahertz. Listeners from Meluri, Shamato, Dimapur, Tening, Mon, and Twinsang, you are tuned in with me right now at 100.1 megahertz. Listeners from Mukha, it's 101.8 megahertz. Listeners from Pek, 102.1 megahertz. And my dear listeners from Zinepoto, you are tuned in with me right now at 101.2 megahertz. We are also available on our app, Yes FM. And our program, Akashvani, in fact, is also available in our digital space. All you have to do is go to Google Play Store, install the app News on Air, and click on live radio and listen to this program. My program is an interactive program, as I've been always mentioning it. So if you have any questions, any queries with our experts today in our studio, then you can write to us at 9436805333. No char 36805 de apni khan questions kan thagi shekule aji thagi ahi na thagia studio bithore thagia experts kange apni kumba kotha janibole mon jaikule do itu de likhikina pathabole parbo 9436805333 our code say FM space F, and don't forget to write your name and the location from where you are writing. So yes, my dear listeners, this is the 14th episode. We have been discussing a lot on drug related issues, how to tackle drug menace, especially in a state like Nagaland. And today is a very special topic, as I've mentioned, that we have discussed on a multitude of facets relating to drugs and its causes and its process of rehabilitation, its process of reintegrating our patients, should I say, into the society. To aji laga focus to I think in the past episodes we have discussed on so many issues, but one of the most significant step is the rehabilitation process. So ajido in our studio we will discuss about the rehabilitation and the treatment centers that are existent in our state, and the topic for this program is an attempt to know how drug related centers are run in Nagaland. And in our studio today we have with me Reverend Dr. Thiipu-o Nyekha. He is the President, Youth Mission Integrated Rehabilitation Center for Addicts, funded by the Government of India, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment since 1989. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us. Along with him, we have a guest who has been part of this whole journey, and we're so happy that you have consented to be here again, Mr. Abou Mere, Kripa Foundation. Thank you so much, sir, for coming to our studio again. And along with him, we have Mr. Jonas Yanton. He is a senior newsreader, Akashvani Kohima. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us in our discussion today.
Thank you.
So as I've mentioned, my dear listeners, interactive program ase, bilingual program ase, to apni khan bhi jani bole mon thagile, khobar lo bole mon jaye se kule, jankari khan iku jani bole mon jaye kule do. I've given you out numbers, you can write to us. So without much further delay, we are going to start with our discussion today here. My very first question is to Mr. Abou Mere. What motivated you to run an institute or start a mission? And when was it established? Apni Kripa Foundation holop koi dibi kya laila situation kinya thakishe kinika ase kinika jase Mr. Abou Mere.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much for inviting me in this program. Kripa is a Sanskrit word, and it begins its journey from Mumbai in 1985. It started by a Catholic priest called Father Joe Pereira, but it's not a Catholic organization. It's an NGO, it's a trust, a mission to deal with marginalized group of people. And Kripa Foundation started to grow. And during 80s, 70s and 80s, Nagaland has gone through a troubling period of drug abuse. Therefore, civil society has tried its level best to curb the menace, but has not able to do so. So therefore, the Naga Mothers Association has come up with a strategy to pressurize the state government to start a detox center. And the first detox center was established in Naga Hospital. However, detoxification center alone is not working. Therefore, a need for rehabilitation comes in. But the Naga mothers do not have the technical knowledge, know how to manage and run rehabilitation centers. So therefore, the Naga Mothers Association has contacted Mr. Nikitu Iralu. So that is how the Naga Mothers Association has got in touch with Father Joe Pereira, and in 1989 has with the invitations of the Naga Mothers Association, Kripa stepped in Nagaland in 1989. That is how the scientific evidence-based treatment started in Nagaland. And how I started to work in this field is because I'm also from drug using background. I'm an ex-drug user. So way back in 1984, I landed up in Mount Gilead Home, which was run and managed by the Naga Mothers Association and Kripa Foundation. So I was there as a patient, and after my treatment, the Naga Mother Association has requested me to join with them and work in this field. That is how I began my journey. And as the Narcotic Anonymous book says, a drug users and addict helping another addicts is without parallel. So that is how I started working in this field. Thank you.
Sir, can you also please highlight on your mission?
I came back from my theological studies from Europe, 1984, and then when I started going around with different groups and people, I saw Nagas, youngsters, getting into this drug addiction, and then which I saw in Europe, and I thought something should be done, and with that, I started grouping up people like medical doctors, social workers, even church leaders. And then we started visiting homes and addicts' homes, families, and also the schools and universities. And when we were just going like that, never ever thought that there was any help from the government's side. We were just simply going around like that, and we thought what we were doing was something meaningful. And by that time, the Department of Social Welfare, they themselves came to me, made me my office, and asked me about our activities and all that. And he said that, mentioning about the government schemes and programs, and since you are doing the job, we also like to help you in any way, we can help you. So the first thing they asked me to do was to get our organization registered. So then we got this youth mission registered in 19. Then with that registration, we were asked to apply for government assistance. So we did that, and at that time our Chief Minister was S.C. Jamir, and then the department wanted us to get this recommendation from the Chief Minister to speed up the thing. So then S.C. Jamir was known to us, so we went and met him, and straight away he sent one recommendation letter, and without taking any delay, taking time, the project was approved. Though it was a very small amount, we were happy that the project was approved by the government of India. So with that, we started a daycare counseling center from 86 till 2000. And then from 2000, there were needs and expressed to us by different individuals and groups, and then while we were trying our best how to bring these people for a residential program, by that time again the government of India approved our project, upgraded our project into a residential program. So from 2000 we started this integrated rehabilitation center for drug addicts. So it's been quite some time now, and we are happy that there are so many young people there, living a drug, alcohol-free life, which is our goal. And we know there are areas where we still need to improve. But this is how the Youth Mission Integrated Rehabilitation Center got started.
It has been a wonderful journey, a tumultuous one, not easy, but I think a lot of our young people have benefited from the mission. So, sir, if you could kindly highlight on what condition and what situations do patients come in, and how has the mission been, if there is any statistics, how many patients or how many users have you been able to render the service?
We try to give answer in the shortest way. Otherwise, it's a very long journey, and we have got so many experiences. A big challenge in front of us is to set Nagaland drug and alcohol free. This requires so many things, not only from the drug or alcohol users, but also from parents, from the society. Nagas, we lack commitment, and we try to do anything, everything, but lack of commitment is one of the biggest problems that we face. And then the parents, the guardians, they are not truthful to their problems to share with us, and there are so many things are not disclosed to us. Of course, we don't try to get to it in a short time, but then till it is beyond control, seen by people, this is not come to overground, and therefore it is become so deeply rooted, and and then society, we put this kind of a stigma to the family and to the person also. So for fear of that also, these young people, users, do not want to come forward to come to avail the services that we provide. So my friend Abou here will be able to tell that more, he himself being from that background will be able to share much better than I do. But these are some of the hurdles we see. It is easy to go and destroy alcohol, drug, and things like it is very easy. But then to rehabilitate them, to bring them back to a normal life, this is a very big challenge. And our society, our political leaders, church leaders, many of us are very ignorant about this. And our ignorance is one of the biggest hurdle to fight against this addiction. And then many times our talks, our conversations are just, very superficial. We all need to realize that the problem is real, and therefore our approach is also to be real. And you will come to this point, I think there is still hope. But unless we come to this point, it will be very difficult for all of us, it's like beating the bush. So these are some of my observations where I've been here in this field for over, almost 40 years or so. So to my friends, people who are using, people who are not using, people who are also responsible in the society, in the government setups, the other day I said, in that one social audit unit, I said, you do the work. You do your job because you are paid to, but you need to do your work. Work is more important than job, and to set us free, to be free from this drug problem. You see, if we are only doing to get our salary or pay or grant in it or so, this is not going to be help. This is
That is not enough.
yeah,
In fact.
this is a big turning forward.
Sir, on that note, I also want to ask one question.
Yeah.
Yes. To establish a foundation or
Yeah.
a mission or a rehabilitation center, it is not an easy job. But again, it's a bigger job to run it in a sustainable way. So, itu kini abni hampi run krese itu pode holo.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So, as you rightly pointed out, that to establish is very easy, but to manage and sustain is a challenge without the support of the government and church and well-wishers. However, in our state, we don't get support from the state government. Yes, they do give recommendation. Majority of the funding are coming from Delhi. And most of us are opting out from Delhi funding because there is no flexibility. So now when there are prescribed things, so do and don'ts and so on, and the treatment duration has become very short, so the quality cannot come out. Yeah. So therefore the need of the hour in our state is we need to have a clear-cut drug policy, and we have drafted and put to the social welfare department to take forward, and I believe social welfare department has taken forward and process to the state government. On the draft policies is substance abuse prevention and treatment policy. Until unless we have a policy of our own, it's become very difficult. And state government wanted to declare as war on drugs, but without policy, without guidance, without budget, and so on, how do we go to a war? Now, if we wanted to go in war, then we need resources to buy bullets, guns, tanks, or ammunition, and we also need a communication, wireless, and all those things, and also somebody need to lead, and so on. So, but we don't have anything in Nagaland. So,
The proper strategy.
proper policy in place with budgetary. So, but we don't have that. And now we cannot implement everything what Delhi wants, because majority of the things are maybe applicable in metro cities, but not in our state. So the budget, when you see the budget, also is in line with their mainland Indians' culture, food and all those things. But out here the food is very costly. Now in Kohima we need to buy water. So all those, if we calculate, and the quality, being a drug, during my times our treatment course is 6 months. Now the Delhi government wanted to curb down to 1 month. 1 month therapy, so 1 month, in 1 month, 1 to 2 weeks times detoxification period is over. So they are still foggy. So how within 1 to 2 weeks, if we do counseling, I don't think we are going to get a quality. So the number game, it's all number, become a number game. That is why I still manage 2 ministry projects from Delhi. One is for capacity skill building and one is on primary prevention, but for treatment I opt out because I know we will not be doing justice to my fellow peers, those who are still using and coming forward for treatment, because out here we need to give quality time, quality service. So therefore, and to manage a drug rehabilitation center, is commitment is required. Until unless we have commitment, because it's become very difficult, because in this sector we get some incentive, but we are surviving from incentive, but we were happy because when we see someone's life change from nobody to somebody become productive. In my own life also, people say that I'm a hopeless case. I might die like my older friends died of overdose, drug reaction, or through some bullets. So therefore, when I come to my treatment center, that I learn that I'm not hopeless case, but I'm just helpless. And addiction is a disease. So that And my fellow friends and in my treatment center, all the counselors are from drug using background. So we understand each other. At present, also in my treatment center, all are from drug using background. So we can connect, we can understand one another. So until unless we get committed person, if one is going to work for salary, is not a place for them to work. But many people feel that they want to work on this and then. And I'm very sorry to say that, but many parents comes, mola bacha te ko nakura osho kam nakuri ne faltu buya ase ma taki training guri ne taki lobi na are taki tate use ko na pare yate more challenging la jaga de ani ne mohan kin ka chulabo na.
So yeah, dedication.
Need lots of dedication, and also needs lots of communication skills and tang mano ge morom kuru parala mano lai nole phat busta wari se to you know.
Sir, on that note, moi janabare mon jado apni dujuna centers khandi the patients that you receive khali drug related he ahena kiniga ana alcohol or other substance can use kuran bi ahibole pare. And also my question with that is beshi do urban areas pra he na rural bosti kham pra he
is 50-50, but now in Mola Center at this present moment for the last 1-2 years drug users can be see was only to all of sal agide to 50-50 alcoholics or drug users 50-50 hisapte tagi only be at present trend it are sunflower ahi to it are drug users can alcoholic can bravi drug users can treatment center de see was only that does not mean alcohol khamanu the committee hoya ase to be no na only treatment seekers to it sunflower kha han dawai kha han seek bisi hoga na the majority of the clients are from drug using background. No little actually we get clients from various social status. One I little orphanage man we buy school dropout can be ase boosty man we ase. Then we get college graduate, postgraduate, or doctors, engineers, lawyers can be ahine bui, and first class contractor can be ahine bui. So it class na. So now only in our centers we treat everyone equally. One may be a first class contractor, one may be a gazetted official, one may be an orphans. Only be yet a treatment center de buhado. The same problem is the problem called addiction. So that is status nazarki. Ita moy man purishi moy man dunia se mola baba ini ase. There is no connection. Center de tha to as a patient. So moy be patient as amni patient. It is separate treatment to mala equal treatment. That man itu rasa ero ni awne man mala kam to.
Abou is right, saying that we do not discriminate rich or poor, educated or uneducated. One time, one medical doctor came to our rehab program. Then that medical doctor, I told him, when you were outside, you have sweepers, you have somebody to bring and do this and that. But right here, you also will have to sweep the floors, you have to clean the windows and all that. And one time, another medical doctor was with us. He ran away from the ventilator. These are some of the things we do, and we try to create an atmosphere that everyone is treated equally. Everyone is. You're answering to your question. The people coming from urban areas or rural areas, in our rehab, at the moment we have, I think, 14 clients with us at the moment right now. And then we have more alcoholics, maybe about 60%, and then drug addicts about 40%, and then the coming from the villages, like small towns, and like we have even people coming from Assam and Arunachal Pradesh, all from all over Nagaland, from all the different tribes. Like at present, we have clients from Angami, Chagasan, Regma, Lota, Sema, Zalian, all these kind of people are in our rehab. So the medium, the communication is to be done not only in English but also in Nagamese. So we have even police people in our rehab center, and then they are not as disciplined as expected. Abou gave some comments on that, and I replied it. But then, you see, addiction can make any person. Addiction will change your personality. This is one of the problems. So, like that, and then, so the clients, addicts, alcoholics are not only from the urban areas, but also we have from people from villages also, but not really villages, from small towns. Right? So, if we are talking about funding, I just now my friend Abou mentioned that opted out from the central government funding. Well, I was asking him also why and how while we were sitting outside. So in that situation, now we have only 3 funded rehab centers in Nagaland only, Dimapur one and Kohima one, if Kripa is opted out. Now we have many frustrations also in dealing with the government of Nagaland, dealing with government of India also. Now the recommendation which is supposed to go from the state government was to be done for the year 2023-24 was to be done in the month of September, latest by October. And the recommendation sent from the state government was done only on February 6, 2024. So the other day when I was also invited to be there in that meeting, social audit meeting. So you see which one? We're talking about salaries. We are talking about salaries. When we apply, when our project is to be renewed, we are talking about salaries. And you have recommended the other day for the whole year, 2023-24. This is your attitude. So these are some of the frustrations
and challenges faced
and then I want the government of Nagaland to be more serious, more practical toward this. And then in regard to DGP, we met together, we talked together also, and then he sent his DSP, SPs and all these people to our rehab center also. We had discussions over my table, and some of the realities will have to be accepted. Our own weaknesses, our possibilities, abilities, resources that we have. So these are important, and declaring Nagaland free alcohol, free drug is easy, but get down to the level to work with is not easy.
Yes, exactly. Rightly pointed out by that declaration registration easier, but the ground reality is different. On that note, I want to ask one thing is, we don't receive a lot of clients from village areas, rural. No, and I believe it's not because there are no drug users there. So if you can please highlight on the registration process, on the enrollment process, maybe fee structure, our listeners would also love to know. So if there are any facilities given from the mission or from the NGOs, if you can helpline number,
yeah.
What is the process?
Now we are talking about drug treatment cum rehabilitation center, but there are different types of treatment. Now, when it comes to drug treatment and rehabilitation, this is the responsibility of Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. And in the state level, the responsibility lies with the Social Welfare Department. But when it comes to detoxification, the responsibility lies with the Health and Family Welfare. So also when it comes to treatment with substitute therapy, it also comes under Health and Family Welfare, but specifically to Nagaland State AIDS Control Society. So there are different modes of treatment. And some of the drug users or alcoholics prefer to go to prayer center, and nothing is wrong with going to prayer center or opt for detoxification alone or opt for substance therapy. And now presently OPD outdoor patient on buprenorphine, on substance therapy. I have more than 500 injecting drug users. So they come every day to take their medication. So in rehab, presently we have 23 clients. But however, as I said, now why the villagers are not responding? There can be various reasons, but one is for sure that they are ignorant, because awareness is not reaching to the villages, rural areas. Out here, whose responsibility is to reach out to those villages or mass population? Yes, through All India Radio is doing its part through this program. However, the one-to-one interaction is very important. If the social welfare is reaching out, or do the other NGOs are reaching out, but the mandate is not with NGO. NGO do not have financial resources like government or the churches. Now, we have to look in two ways. We NGOs are here because government and church has failed. Let me be blunt. If the state government played its part, and if the church plays its part, all the drug users or alcoholics are also part of some church. And if the pastor, the priest, take care of his sheep, his own church member, then they do not need us, NGOs, to interfere and help. But church has failed to take care of its own church member. And Article 21, right to life, right to health. So state government also have obligation to serve and save life and provide treatments. But out here, forget about providing treatment. State government is not providing awareness program also. Therefore, and the NGOs are handicapped. One may have the experience, the knowledge, but we don't have the means of resources to reach to the village. So now the state government, church, and the NGOs has to come together collectively without blame game, because we know church will not able to play NGOs role, which our strengths are different, and we don't have the strengths of the church, nor we don't have the strength of the government, and government also do not have the strength of the NGOs or the church. So we have our own strength. So if the church and NGOs and government can come together and implement the policies which we are wanting to have now, then we might able to do something productively, effectively in the ground.
All sections of society should together and fight against this.
That specified, say, registration.
Be it for the Kripa Foundation or for the health mission. Is there any?
Like when we meet a doctor, we register a certain amount, 100 rupees or 200 rupees. I mean, something like. Do you have that kind of practices?
Yeah. So it has to be a registered society. So Kripa Foundation is a trustee.
No, I mean for the patients.
Oh, okay. For patient, the criteria is willingness. So if one is willing to go for treatment and wanted to live a life of sober life, clean and sober life, then that is the main criteria. If the client is not willing, we will not able to do anything else. So the first thing is to have the client's willingness. Secondly, he also have to have the willingness to abide with the rules and regulation of the institution, because we don't cooperate with violence in the center. And thirdly, now we are independent, so we take some nominal mess fee. But those supported by the Ministry of Social Justice Empowerment, it has to be free of cost. But as I said earlier, it's free of cost, but the quality-wise to come up, until unless we do manipulation I don't think we will be able to do justice to our patient. Now, in my center model, we have a Kripa model, and it is recognized and it has gone international now. We have centers in Canada, Switzerland, and so on. So it is born in Mumbai, has branched out to various states in India, and has gone up to international. And we have our own models, and the models to complete the therapy, because this addiction is a disease. It affects our mental, physical, and spiritual. So to deal with all those things, minimum it takes 3 months, and for relapse case we take for 2 months. So from one day we do not become a drug dependent person. So we have been using for several months and years to become dependent. After we become dependent, we also spend lots of time, years, with the addictive personality. So to unwind those things within 1-2 weeks is not possible. So it's even 3 months also is very, very less. However, nowadays people are very busy. Time is very precious. Now, one can be a businessman, one can be a job holders, and so on. So therefore, we have cut out from 6 months to 3 months, but 3 months also less. But now we cannot. People are not able to afford, not from financial resources, but to afford to stay in the center for more than 3 months.
The process cannot be rushed.
Yeah.
But with the current scenario,
Yeah.
and there has to be a certain criteria and a model. So basically, it's 3 months,
Yeah.
but you can still continue with the treatment.
Yeah. So what we say is not 3 months is just on average. If one do well, and if he wins the trust of the counselors, one may go out by 2.5 months. Or if he's not doing well, then it has to be
Sometimes
extended.
goes
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
It's a lifelong process,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
We will continue with our discussion here, but let's take a short break.
Okay.
We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back, dear listeners. You are listening to Akashvani Kohima at 103 megahertz. And yes, we are today in conversation with Reverend Dr. Thiipu-o Nyekha, President, Youth Mission Integrated Rehabilitation Center for Addicts, funded by the Government of India. And along with him in our studio, we have Mr. Abou Mere, Kripa Foundation, Kohima. So as we continue with our discussion here, sir, I would like to remind our dear listeners that if you have any questions and if you have any queries that you want our experts to clear it for you, then you can write to us at 9436805333. Use the code FM space F. The topic today is something that needs to be discussed on a bigger platform, and I believe that a lot of our listeners are tuned in. Adila topic is an attempt to know how drug-related centers run in Nagaland. There are a lot of challenges, there are a lot of obstacles, there are a lot of hurdles in running an NGO, in running a center, especially when it comes to patients that are dealing with drugs and dealing with addiction. It is in itself a huge task. So as Sir has also mentioned earlier, our Reverend has also mentioned earlier that Bishibardo physical difficulties can be when you especially dealing with patients that are affected by drugs or that are affected by addiction. So they can get about violent be they can get about as you have said that personality pura affect the mental psychology pura affect so sometimes I believe that you receive patients and clients who are very rowdy so it can get if you can run down the whole process for our listeners can be better understanding it about and in fact we might also understand if anyone near and dear one struggle with how to handle that.
Abou already mentioned about the models they follow under this Kripa. Last year I have been to US. I was there for 1 month preaching around. I also visited 2 rehab centers. And their program is for 8 months to 1 year. In Nagaland, government of India reduced from 6 months to 3 months. And then still flexibility is there, of course. But all of us who are in the field and the service providers, we sense that we have to also follow what is happening around the world. Nagas are not very different people from US or Europe. So you are talking about how you handle these different difficult people. Of course, our building is well equipped and very nice place, but under lock and keys. So we have got ward boys, and we have got a medical doctor, we have got a psychologist, we have got experienced counselors. We deal with them, and these physical things, problems, are handled by our medical doctor. Psychological things are being handled by our psychologist. I'm being a senior counselor. The spiritual side I handle. So we have very qualified, educationally, theologically very qualified people with us. But at the same time, we also have peer group workers who are our recovery addicts and who are side by side working with us also. So we are, trying our best to more, be able to be more relevant to our clients. We do our best. And in regard to admission and fees and things like that, the central government, Ministry of Social Welfare, they provide 2,000 rupees per month, which is not possible here. One per month will go over 5,000 to 6,000. And then today in Kohima we have to buy water and so many other things are there. So practically it is not possible. But then we also we highlighted all these problems with the ministry also. But it seems that he is covering the whole country, so maybe in some areas this is possible, but not in the case of Nagaland. So we have to realize some money for some of the expenses. And of course our fees are very nominal in order to meet the expenses. We don't charge for treatment, we don't charge for house. We are giving the best possible facilities, and now our building is under extension now. We want to have a capacity for 30 clients. At the moment we have a facility for only 15. So the demand is so much. So therefore we are doing that. And So this is how we handle with people who are really, unruly, cannot handle and all that. So these are from different angles. We try to handle our clients, and we believe that there are three areas: physical, and then spiritual, psychological. These three areas. We cannot go with only one area, so we have to handle in our treatment from three angles. This is how the youth mission has been doing, and then we have, try to have our, exposed to what people do outside here in our state, in the national level, and also in the international level. So this is how our programs have been designed. And when a person is get admitted into our program, we also provide some, at least 2 big books, counseling books. And they'll have to finish it, these 2 big books. And then besides that, there are some other books and interactions and, free discussions and things, they go like that. So we try to create an atmosphere where every drug addict, every person in the program is feeling free to express everything from, what is in his heart. So I believe this is how we get better about them and we give them better help. This is how the mission does.
Okay, as for Kripa Foundation, see, as I said earlier during admission procedure, so the main thing is proper orientation during admission. Has to be completely transparent. So during admission, we give a thorough orientation on the do and don'ts. So now, because Madeinagaland is violent to kill now, pura manu town chogara, nijer la kolini the boss, nijer la busti the boss. So our Jawan chogara se abuni mo ke boina, mo bi abuni ke boina na. So but during admission we make it very clear kun hat poila cholao, who will start physical will be wrong. It will have guilty. See, time to time to man verbally damali kurine ejun ke hurt ho jaye. Le taibar hurt kurisi. Kule aine counselor lo the complaint kuri. Tala damali tu moi bal laga nai. Le tu hat theng na cholao.
No violence.
No violence. Kilene moi bi abuni ke boina. It's not only Bostila, Boseklan, we get police, we get national workers. So police over the national workers over the town chokra over the Bostila, who is who over the will be no physical violence. So orientation tande very clear criteria to ina there, and we have bound agreement. So bound agreement nije par hai nije ki question. Nobody is forcing. Only bound agreement is apra ne gultias na. So other than the senior guys also controls apart from the staffs. Yeah. The senior guys Hamarbi too. That is how we control in our center.
No tolerance for any kind of violence.
Yeah.
We are also running out of time. So in your own short words, I wanted to ask you that what are the main difficulties faced by the NGOs in Nagaland? And there are only 7 NGOs Nagaland na. So Nagaland, do you think there should be more rehab centers, more homes to avail services with the alarming rate of drug users?
See, as per the study done by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, in Nagaland we have more than 30,000 problematic users. Okay, the problematic users means dependent person. So those are not recreational users, social users, but problematic users. Now we have around 15 to 17 rehabilitation center in Nagaland. Now funded is only 3. We have, I believe we have gone up to 7, but everybody opt out because in 1 month we were not able to do justice. Some have opt out because they don't get human resources to manage the center. So there are various reasons why they have opt out. However, out here, when you say in now we are not only dealing with substance users, drug users. We are also dealing with alcoholics. So it's a substance user. So both drug and alcohol. So now if we look into Nagaland, then I believe alcohol dependent person will not be less than 50,000 minimum. It might go cross lakhs also, but minimum 50,000. So if we say, so minimum, if we say both drug users and alcoholics, if we have 20,000 hardcore drug users, hardcore alcoholics, 20,000 in a year, how many we are treating? We are treating hardly 1,000, 2,000. If we're able to treat 2,000, meaning 18,000 hardcore drug users and alcoholics sit outside. And some will be coming into the hardcore again. So it will add, more people will be added in hardcore drug users and alcoholics. So the service is very minimal. So therefore, for drug users, we also try to manage with this buprenorphine OST, substance therapy. So that is why I said in Kohima alone we are dealing with more than 500 in OPT. So that is one thing. But state government and the church also have to look into a community detox scheme. So it's a short term, 1 week or 2 weeks or 10 days scheme. So they can do a community detox scheme for those who can able to quit. They may. So and those who need professional help can go to rehab center. So after detoxification, if they relapse, then they should realize they need professional help and come to.
Bottom line is there is an urgent need for more centers in Nagaland to deal and to fight this war against drugs. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us. As like I said, we are running against time. This is a conversation that needs to go on, that needs to continue. So in your final words, is there any message that you want to give to our listeners? Let's start with our Reverend here.
Thank you to the All India Radio here for inviting me and Abou to be here. My advice is to the government. I've already mentioned, government will have to be more serious. And then we also want to thank the All India Radio. Media is very important, and you are playing your role. And one of the problems that we face is ignorance of this problem, which we have to go on with our awareness program. So this will be my concluded word to all my listeners. And we look forward to all the listeners to get to us, to contact us for anything that you want to know more from us.
Thank you so much. Lack of awareness is something that we should all work towards, and as Sir has also mentioned, that facilities approach Kuribi. Let's go to
Okay. Satigan, those who are just starting now, having recreational users in Nagaland, इत्या स्टप কৰি দিয়া সব পাৰাপালাছ আৰু কোন স্টাৰ্ট কৰা নাই স্টাৰ্ট না কৰা সব পাৰাপালাছ আৰু কি কাৰণে I have tried it and it's not worth trying it. It's gone through a very painful life. নিজৰ কিবি বেছি হেল্পি দিয়া কৰে, ফ্যামিলি রিলেশনশিপ দিয়া কৰে, ট্রাস্ট না থাকে আৰু লিগ্যাল প্রবলেম আলাগ আলাগ স্টাডিজ কান দিবি এফেক্ট কৰে, পুরা মহানা লাইফ পুরা এফেক্ট কৰে. So it's not worth trying it. তো আৰু আপুনি যদি ডিপেন্ডেন্ট আছে kindly take professional help and help yourself. Thank you.
That is a very beautiful message, heart-to-heart message, as someone who has been through the whole journey. So thank you so much, Mr. Abou Mere, Kripa Foundation, and Reverend Dr. Thiipu-o Nyekha, President Youth Mission Integrated Rehabilitation Center for Addicts. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for the wonderful service that both of you are giving it to the people of Nagaland. With that, we come to the end of our program. Dear listeners, next Monday, the topic will be on central and state government initiatives against drug menace. So I hope to hear more from our dear listeners, and I hope that this program has been really productive. Thank you so much for tuning in.